All right, Assalamu alaikum, bro. So on the monthly quick recap, I initially was a little bit bearish because of this failure right here, but we see that right after we met with the reflex level, and from that from this reflex level, we we start seeing a rejection, price rejecting on the monthly time frame. We also came off a previous 100% level, and we don't have any kind of resistance sitting up above. No resistance zone or whatever, or reflex or whatever, nothing. And zooming out, we see that we are still in a bullish order flow, right? So with this intermediate term low, short term low, short term low. So basically this, now if this we close above this candle, we're most likely gonna have a strong low formed here. So you see, it's quite interesting because at that moment we have two potential origin for a bias, right? So we potentially have this failure swing right here that gives us bearish bias, and we see that, and they potentially already accomplished. I mean, they met with their target now, even though on a failure swing the target should be here, but if the higher time frame is pushing price higher, they we should we'd better focus on the structural liquidity. So this would be this low here below this bullish candle. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. We, like I just mentioned, we met with a reflex level, right? And this is also a reflex level that we met previously. And so you know what I'm saying? The monthly time frame currently, the last origin could be this reflex. So we could be bullish. Now it depends. We need to check on both sides, right, for liquidations. We need to check both sides for liquidations. We on the weekly. Now, honestly, when seeing them break through this fair value gap located in premium, I didn't quite understand why. I mean, they still are respecting this leg. Um, So, I mean, maybe due to the volume here, and so uh, they were looking for this change in state of delivery level, and also potentially because of the alignment of the pure that we have on the weekly plus the reflex on the monthly, right? So we still need to check for liquidation up to the 4 hour time frame, right? We could have something on the 4 hour time frame, some liquidation that will make price fail to break this high, and so make this our potential next target. All right. So far, the state of affairs. The state of affairs is we had a rejection of a single area of this structure, right? So bullish on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, couple of things. If we elaborate a little bit on the timely aspects using the daily time frame for this, and the fractal quarterly candle, we see that we respected the previous quarterly low, and yeah, so this is one indication of price respecting the lows and potentially breaking the highs, right? Breaking the highs also, they broke through this impure level plus double area, which is significant. Um, so the impure level was located, where was that? It was, the high was most likely this one here. So we kind of see them breaking through it aggressively, right? After they capitalize on the CE of this fair value gap here, right? So they respected 50%. So origin of price currently this 50% level giving us bullish bias on the daily time frame, and we're in an expansion profile so far. Now the thing is, on a daily basis, we can see that we've just grabbed the previous day's high already, right? On today's candle, right? Previous day's high already taken. Now again, here we could eventually meet on the lower time frame with some obstacles, and we see also on the daily time frame first liquidation. We have a first liquidation that wasn't quite capitalized, right? So now here's where we be like win premium, so we'd better short, but at the same time, I mean, all time frames are aligned bullish, right? So what can we do? Now on the 4-hour time frame, and what we can see is two things. Two things we can notice: this 4-hour structure and this potential 4-hour structure. This 4-hour bullish candle isn't like completed yet. We still have like 1 hour, 2 hours to go through. So yeah, if this candle close bullish above here, it will still give us a pretty weak structure. It will give us a pretty weak structure because of what? Because of a gap being below it, and because of price not tapping into any kind of structure, right, with this gap. So we couldn't trust this. We cannot trust this. And about this structure, we can not trust this neither, because we have gaps below it, and I'm pretty sure we have a gap on the daily time frame. Let me just check this. Now, you see on the 1 hour time frame, we see actually we see a failure swing above the previous swing, and also on a timely and fractal timely aspect, we we've just run the previous period, right? We just run some previous period high, right? So it's quite significant, and from that moment, with all that I mentioned previously, it can be interesting in this particular scenario to wait for some bearish setup that would unfold, maybe, right? If the higher time frame is still trying to push price higher, they're gonna run like a swing low on the 1 hour time frame or something, and then they're gonna proceed higher, right? Because if we zoom out a little bit, and reasoning in terms of a kind of a channel, right? Because a channel translates into a higher time frame expansion, right? A tight channel like we kind of have here could be seen on the higher time frame as an aggressive push, and this is what we currently have, right? So we did we run this low here? Not quite yet, right? I mean, this low, right? We didn't run this low, so this is what typically kind of happen within these channels, right? See here they run some lows here, they continue higher, right? So far they didn't run like some low here maybe. Let's see. The next candle kind of invalidated this fair swing scenario, right? Now we still could see a bearish expansion unfold because we still could see a reversal profile form here right after they run these highs, right? So we had one candle running these highs, the next candle makes a higher high, right? And so the next one is either going to sweep and reverse, or it's going to start a little lower and start the expansion to the downside. Let's wait and see. Now this is what I said previously. You see this little structure, we could see this as a bullish structure, but at the same time we are evolving inside of a previous candle, right? This is an inside, kind of an engulfed structure, and so for me, it's not worth taking the risk, right? I would better bet on some bearish setup than this, right? So let's switch to the lower time frame and see. On the 1 hour, like I said previously, we have 1, 2, 3 candle, and the last candle is forming a reversal profile right after they took out external range liquidity. So this could be a target, this could be a target, this lower could be a target. We should still monitor reactions to this inside or engulfed for our structure just for safety, but I would rather focus on the bearish setups. So we have two things here. We have on the 4 hour structure perspective, we have a structure retest level right here, and so I would monitor the reactions and see if we have something on the 3 minutes time frame. So far what we have is a new invalidation S level, right? Above it we have a pure plus double area on the 5 minutes. Alright, so this area here could be a direct entry, I would say, right? This area from this level here to roughly here could be a direct entry, but there's the 4 hour below plus the higher time frame bullishness. So you see what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do is give this level a shot, right? Since we didn't have any significant reaction of the structural retest on the 15 minutes, right? The 3 minutes didn't give us anything significant, right? And I didn't spot any significant key level neither. So let's give this level a shot. One of the probable reasons this didn't play out is this here we had a rejection on the 1 hour time frame, even though this rejection isn't quite significant. Let me just show you the rejection. So you see this rejection right here wasn't quite significant, right? I mean, we have a rejection against another rejection, although I couldn't say from where this rejection here came from. I mean, we see bears failing to establish, like we should have maybe saw here unfold and some bearish reflex zone, right? It didn't happen on the 15 minutes. Another tip off was this gap here, right? It followed right? So we came into a structural retest. Now the thing is, the 3 minutes time frame, didn't give any significant pattern here for bullishness. You know what I'm saying? So I mean they printed the first liquidation that they left behind, right? So they didn't even capitalize on this. You know what I'm saying? So it was quite deceiving at that stage. All right, here's the thing. Although we didn't get any setup on the 3 minutes time frame to get in sync with this what we said was a weak 4 hour formation, it was a weak bullish structure, but still weak. They had the higher time frame to back them up and stay strong, right? Right. So we see that we didn't get any setup on the 3 minutes time frame, but I mean they invalidated the setup that was here, right? Because of what? Because again of the 1 hour time frame. Sorry, the 1 hour time frame giving us this rejection on the 1 hour time frame. So we have this rejection, and most importantly, and what we can notice is the order flow on the 15 minute. Right, since we were working on the 15 minutes and with the 15 minutes POI, right, the moment they gave us this pretty rigid turn, right, it was like here they almost took out our stop loss. You see the gap form here, it's immediately an exit signal, right? And it was also inside our lunch. So could have exited the trade with a little bit of profit, but I mean at least break even or minimum losses. Actually, you know what? We know what we missed. I just realized we missed this new invalidation as not entry, right? Because the 15 minutes kind of stayed bullish all the time. 15 minutes, I mean, stayed bullish all the time. They gave us this confirmation. Only thing that kind of threw me off was they didn't consume the structural retest to the 50%, right? Even though we had a pretty aggressive drop here, they didn't consume this zone to its 50%. But I mean, they still gave us a confirmation with a 15 minute bullish order flow staying intact, right? This plus the bullish shift. Right, so they shifted to bullish. So from that moment, we could have tried to enter aggressively off this level here. Right, we had this opportunity right here. We had this. This would have been a hell of a nice trade, bro. Too bad. Need to pay attention to this. Need to pay attention to this shift, right? It was all aligning properly. It was all aligning, right? Even though the 4 hour was kind of a weak zone, we had a high time frame to back them up, right? Make them strong. And so from that moment, confirmation right here. At that moment, it was a little bit deceiving, right? They didn't offer any entry, and I came back to the premium, right? So, I mean, yeah, miss this. Next time, hopefully we won't. So you know what? I'm gonna end the video right here because it's quite long so far. So yeah, let's wrap all this here and see you later. Peace.